The deep-sea research vessel Nautilus drifted silently through the midnight waters of the Mariana Trench. Dr. Sarah Chen stood at the observation window, her dark eyes fixed on the vessel's external lights as they pierced the absolute darkness. After 20 years of searching, the quantum anomaly readings had led them here, 11 kilometers beneath the Pacific Ocean. Dr. Chen called out Marcus Torres from his monitoring station. "We're picking up those energy signatures again. They're stronger than ever." Sarah moved swiftly to his station, studying the readings that pulsed across his screen. The quantum fluctuations were unlike anything humanity had ever encountered, patterns that defied the known laws of physics. But before she could analyze them further, a low rumble shook the vessel. "All stations, report." Commander Hayes' voice crackled over the intercom. The crew's responses came in rapid succession, each confirming their systems were functional. But something had changed. The water around them had begun to glow with an ethereal blue light. "My God," Sarah whispered, returning to the observation window. The seafloor below them was transforming. Geometric patterns of light emerged from the sediment, forming intricate networks that stretched into the darkness beyond their view. The ship's communications officer, Lieutenant Wong, suddenly straightened in her chair. "Commander, we're picking up something. It's not one of ours." The sound that filled the bridge was like nothing they'd ever heard, a complex pattern of frequencies that made the air itself seem to vibrate. Before anyone could respond, a blinding flash lit up the abyss. When their vision cleared, they found themselves staring at an impossible sight. A massive structure had emerged from the seafloor, its surface covered in the same geometric patterns they'd observed, but now pulsing with internal light. That was the moment everything changed, though none of them knew it yet. While humanity made its first contact with evidence of advanced technology beneath Earth's oceans, another first contact was about to occur 40,000 kilometers above the planet's surface. High in geosynchronous orbit, the Xanthari survey vessel Starweaver dropped its stealth field. Captain Venera, her iridescent scales shifting colors with her mounting excitement, studied the primitive planet below. The Xanthari Empire had monitored this world for centuries, dismissing its inhabitants as barely worth noting. But something had changed. The quantum sensors that had brought them to this backwater system were reporting impossible readings. "Specialist Krell, verify these readings," she ordered, her secondary eyes focusing on the young scientist, while her primary pair remained fixed on the main viewport. "Confirmed, Captain," Krell responded, his tendrils writhing with agitation. "The humans have activated something down there. Something old. Something that shouldn't exist on such a primitive world." Venera's scales shifted to a deep purple of concern. The Empire's databases contained references to similar quantum signatures, artifacts left behind by the precursors, the mysterious species that had vanished from the galaxy 50,000 years ago, leaving behind technologies that even the Xanthari couldn't fully comprehend. "Send word to the Imperial Fleet," she commanded. "Priority 1 alert. We have a Class A civilization emergence event." Her scales rippled with dark amusement. "It seems we've underestimated these humans." Back on Earth, in the White House Situation Room, President Helena Martinez received the first reports of both discoveries simultaneously. The Nautilus had found something that defied explanation, and NORAD had detected the alien vessel the moment it decloaked. "Madam President," General Michael Jong began, his face grave. "We're tracking an unknown object in orbit. Its sudden appearance suggests technological capabilities far beyond our own. And now we're detecting more objects entering the solar system." Helena studied the satellite footage, her mind racing. Humanity had long prepared for this moment. First contact with an alien civilization. But no one had expected it to coincide with the discovery of advanced technology beneath their own oceans. "What's the status of Project Prometheus?" she asked, referring to the classified initiative that had been preparing humanity for potential alien contact for the past decade. "Ready for immediate activation," John responded. "All major military powers are already implementing their protocols. The UN Security Council is assembling for an emergency session. And the Nautilus. Dr. Chen reports that the structure they've discovered appears to be some kind of quantum computer or communication device. It's active, and it's sending signals into deep space. Helena stood, smoothing her jacket with practiced calm. She had trained for this, run countless simulations, but now that the moment had arrived, she felt the weight of history pressing down on her shoulders. The decisions she made in the next few hours would shape humanity's future in ways she couldn't begin to imagine. "Implement Operation First Light," she ordered, "and get me a direct line to Dr. Chen. If we're about to meet our new neighbors, I want to know exactly what cards we're holding." As her orders went out, the ancient machinery beneath the Pacific continued its awakening sequence, sending pulses of quantum energy throughout its vast network. And in high orbit, Captain Venera watched with growing unease as her sensors detected more and more active nodes coming online across Earth's surface. The humans had stumbled upon something that would change the balance of power in the galaxy. The question was, were they ready for the responsibility that came with such power? And more importantly, would the Galactic Empire allow them the chance to find out? The game board was set. In the coming hours, humanity would face its greatest challenge and its greatest opportunity. The age of isolation was over. Earth was about to take its first steps onto the galactic stage, armed with technologies they barely understood and facing an empire that had ruled the stars for millennia. The next move would determine everything. 30 days after first contact, Dr. Sarah Chen stood in a converted missile silo deep beneath the Rocky Mountains. The ancient quantum device recovered from the Mariana Trench now occupied the central chamber, its crystalline structure pulsing with the same ethereal blue light they'd first witnessed in the depths. Around it, hundreds of scientists from every major nation worked in seamless coordination, their previous rivalries forgotten in the face of a greater challenge. "The integration is holding steady," Marcus Torres announced from his workstation, his fingers dancing across holographic displays. "Quantum coherence at 97% and climbing." Sarah nodded, unable to suppress a smile. They'd learned more about quantum physics in the past month than humanity had in the previous century. The device, which they dubbed the Aurora Core, didn't just break the laws of physics, it rewrote them. "Dr. Chen," a voice called from behind her. She turned to find General Zhang approaching, accompanied by a tall figure she recognized immediately, Captain David Rice, former NASA astronaut, and now commander of humanity's first quantum-enhanced spacecraft. "The Xanthari are getting impatient," Zhang said without preamble. "Their fleet has grown to 30 ships, and our long-range sensors detect more arriving daily." Sarah's expression hardened. The aliens had maintained their position just beyond lunar orbit, their demands clear: surrender the precursor technology or face immediate military action. They claimed humanity wasn't ready for such power, that it would destabilize the careful balance of galactic politics. "Show them the latest test results," she said, leading them to a secure viewing room. The wall-sized screen displayed footage from that morning's experiment. A small probe equipped with Aurora-derived technology disappeared from one point in space and instantly reappeared 5 kilometers away. No acceleration, no transition, just instantaneous translation through quantum space. "Quantum teleportation," Sarah explained. "But that's just the beginning. We're learning to manipulate the fundamental forces of the universe in ways that..." An alarm cut through the facility, its urgent tone bringing all activity to a halt. Zhang's comm unit crackled to life. "General, multiple Xanthari vessels are breaking formation. They're moving toward Earth." In high orbit, Captain Venera received the latest orders from Imperial Command with growing unease. Her scales had remained a constant deep purple for days, reflecting her concern over the situation. The humans progressed too quickly, her new superior, Admiral Keckstall, had declared. "We cannot allow them to fully unlock the precursor technology. You are authorized to take whatever action necessary to prevent this." But Venera had spent the past month studying humanity, and what she'd seen gave her pause. While her empire had stagnated, content with their technological superiority, these humans displayed an innovative spirit she hadn't witnessed in centuries. "Launch reconnaissance drones," she ordered, buying time. Full spectrum analysis of their defensive capabilities. Across Earth, humanity's response to the Xanthari threat had been unprecedented. Ancient rivalries were set aside as nations pooled their resources and expertise. The United Earth Defense Initiative, formed within days of first contact, had transformed military bases into research centers, factories into shipyards, and competitors into allies. In orbit, the first fruits of this collaboration were taking shape. Space stations that had once been civilian research platforms now bristled with quantum-enhanced weaponry. Satellites carried shields derived from precursor technology, and in secret shipyards carved into the lunar surface, humanity's first true warships were nearing completion. President Martinez stood in the White House Command Center, watching real-time holographic displays of Earth's defenses. The Xanthari advance had triggered automatic responses across the globe. Defense platforms powered up, their quantum shields shimming into existence. Ground-based weapons arrays tracked the alien vessels with unwavering precision. "They're testing us," General Zhang observed, standing at her side. "Probing our capabilities, our resolve." "Then let's show them both," Martins replied. "Initiate Operation Starburst." Across Earth's surface, hidden installations hummed to life. The quantum network they'd rebuilt from precursor blueprints activated, linking every defensive system into a single coordinated whole. Energy readings spiked as power was redirected from civilian grids to military applications. In the Rocky Mountain facility, Sarah and her team watched their monitors with growing excitement. The Aurora Core's output had doubled, then tripled, exceeding their most optimistic projections. "It's responding to the network activation," Sarah realized. "It's not just a computer or a power source. It's a key to something much bigger." Captain Ray stepped forward, his expression intense. "How long until the Hyperion is ready for launch?" "The quantum drive is stable," Sarah replied. "We've run every possible simulation. It's as ready as it'll ever be." The Hyperion, humanity's first quantum-enabled warship, represented their greatest achievement and their greatest gamble. Built in secret beneath the lunar surface, it incorporated everything they'd learned from the precursor technology. Its very existence was their ace in the hole, a card the Xanthari didn't know they held. In orbit, Venra's drones transmitted their findings, and her scales shifted to pale yellow in shock. The humans hadn't just studied the precursor technology. They'd mastered aspects of it that the Empire had never understood. Their defensive grid hummed with quantum energies that her sensors could barely comprehend. "Status report," Admiral Kextall demanded over the quantum link. Venra hesitated, her scales rippling with conflicting emotions. The Empire's doctrine was clear: primitive species weren't allowed access to advanced technology. But as she studied the sensor readings, a different truth became apparent. These humans weren't primitive at all. They'd simply taken a different path, and now they were evolving at an unprecedented rate. "The humans have exceeded our projections," she reported carefully. "I recommend a diplomatic solution before." A new energy signature blossomed on her sensors, emanating from the far side of Earth's moon. Something massive was emerging from hiding, its quantum signature unlike anything in Imperial records. The game had changed. The Empire had expected to find a primitive species playing with technology they couldn't understand. Instead, they'd awakened something far more dangerous: humanity's limitless potential for innovation and advancement. As the Hyperion rose from its lunar cradle, its quantum drive humming with power, the true scope of Project Aurora was finally revealed. Humanity hadn't just discovered precursor technology. They'd surpassed it. The Hyperion glided silently through space, its quantum-enhanced hull absorbing all electromagnetic radiation. Captain David Rice stood on the bridge, watching the tactical display as it tracked the movements of the Xanthari fleet. The alien vessels had spread out in a classic containment formation, their weapons trained on Earth's orbital defenses. "They still haven't detected us," Lieutenant Emma Puttle reported from her sensor station. "The quantum camouflage is working perfectly." Reyes nodded, but his attention was focused on a different reading. The Xanthari ships were charging their main weapon systems. After 2 months of tense standoff, it seemed the Empire had run out of patience. In the Imperial flagship, Admiral Kextol's scales rippled with anticipation as he prepared to deliver the Empire's final ultimatum. Captain Veneris stood at his side, her own scales a turbulent mix of colors reflecting her inner conflict. "Open a channel to their leadership," Kextol commanded. The holographic display shimmered to life, revealing President Martinez and her advisory council. "People of Earth," Kextol began, his translator converting his clicks and whistles into English. "Your time has expired. Surrender the precursor technology and submit to Imperial authority, or face immediate pacification." Martinez's expression remained neutral, but her eyes hardened. "Admiral, we've studied our history carefully. Every time a technologically advanced civilization has demanded submission from a lesser species, the results have been catastrophic for the lesser species. We won't become another cautionary tale in galactic history." "You mistake our intentions," Kextol replied. "The Empire brings order, stability. Your species is too young, too volatile to be trusted with such power. The technology you found could destabilize the entire galaxy." The solar system erupted into chaos as humanity's quantum fleet engaged the Xanthari Empire. The Hyperion led the charge, its advanced weapons systems cutting through Imperial shields with surgical precision. Captain Reyes watched the tactical display as Earth's forces executed maneuvers that defied conventional space combat doctrine. "Multiple quantum jumps detected," Lieutenant Puttle reported. "Our sister ships are engaging targets across the enemy formation. The Imperial fleet is losing coherency." Through the quantum network, dozens of Earth vessels appeared and disappeared at will, striking from impossible angles and vanishing before the Xanthari could effectively respond. It wasn't just the technology that gave humanity an edge. It was their willingness to completely reimagine how space warfare could work. Admiral Kextol's flagship rocked with another direct hit. "Impossible," he snarled, his scales cycling through colors of rage and disbelief. "Their tactics violate every principle of void warfare. There's no honor in this chaos." "No, Admiral," Captain Venera responded, her scales showing the deep blue of revelation. "They're not fighting without honor. They're fighting without preconceptions. We've spent centuries perfecting our combat doctrine, but in doing so, we've become predictable. The humans aren't bound by our traditions or our assumptions." In the Rocky Mountain facility, Dr. Sarah Chen and her team monitored the quantum network's performance. The Aurora Core pulsed with unprecedented power as it coordinated the movements of Earth's fleet. But Sarah's attention was focused on something else, new patterns emerging in the quantum data stream. "Marcus, are you seeing this?" she called out. "The network isn't just coordinating our ships, it's learning, evolving. Every quantum jump, every engagement is adding to its understanding of space-time itself." Torres nodded, his fingers flying across his console. The precursor technology wasn't designed to be static. It's adapting to our usage patterns, our ways of thinking. We're not just using their technology, we're helping it grow beyond its original capabilities. Above Earth, the battle continued to unfold in ways no conventional military strategist could have predicted. Earth ships used quantum entanglement to coordinate their attacks, striking simultaneously from multiple vectors. When the Xanthari adapted their shields, humanity's vessels simply shifted to new attack patterns, using the quantum network to share and implement tactical innovations in real time. President Martinez watched from the command center as humanity's forces systematically dismantled the Imperial fleet's formation. "General Zhang, status report." "The quantum network is performing beyond expectations," Zhang replied. "Our casualties are minimal, and the enemy fleet is in disarray. But there's something else you need to see." He brought up a new display showing energy readings from across the solar system. The quantum activity we're generating is having an unexpected effect on local spacetime. In the Imperial flagship, Venra's sensors detected the same phenomenon. Admiral, the humans aren't just fighting us. They're changing the fundamental nature of this region of space. The quantum wake from their technology is creating permanent alterations in the fabric of reality itself. Kextel's scales shifted to gray uncertainty as he processed this information. The Empire had always assumed that their understanding of the universe was complete, that they had reached the pinnacle of technological achievement. But these humans weren't just wielding advanced technology. They were reshaping the very nature of space-time to suit their needs. On the Hyperion's bridge, Captain Rice received new data from Earth Command. The quantum network had detected Imperial reinforcements approaching from the outer system. A second fleet, twice the size of the first. All ships, implement Phase 2, Rice ordered. The quantum drive hummed as they prepared to execute humanity's most audacious strategy yet. In the Rocky Mountain facility, Sarah watched as the Aurora Core's activity reached new heights. "The network is ready," she reported to President Martinez. "But this will change everything. Once we do this, there's no going back." Martinez's voice was firm. "The Empire gave us no choice. They demanded we remain bound by their limitations, their rules. It's time to show them why the precursors chose humanity as their successors." Across the solar system, Earth's quantum fleet took up new positions. The network pulsed with power as they prepared to implement a strategy that would rewrite the rules of warfare forever. The Hyperion led the formation, its quantum drive synchronized with dozens of other vessels. "All ships, execute Quantum Nexus Protocol," Rice commanded. Space itself seemed to shudder as humanity's fleet activated their drives simultaneously. The quantum network channeled unprecedented levels of energy, creating a cascading effect that rippled through the fabric of spacetime. For a moment, the entire solar system seemed to exist in multiple states simultaneously. Admiral Kextal watched in horror as his sensors tried to make sense of what was happening. The humans hadn't just mastered quantum technology. They had weaponized the uncertainty principle itself. Each Earth vessel now existed in multiple probable states, making it impossible to predict where they would appear or how they would attack. By the First Empire, Venra whispered, her scales pale with awe. They turned probability itself into a weapon. The approaching Imperial reinforcements found themselves facing an enemy that existed everywhere and nowhere, attacking from all possible vectors simultaneously. Conventional tactical doctrine became meaningless in the face of an enemy that had transcended traditional spacetime constraints. In the command center, Martinez watched as the battle transformed into something beyond conventional understanding. Humanity hadn't just survived first contact with a superior alien force. They had evolved beyond anything the galaxy had seen before. The precursors' faith in human potential had been justified. The quantum network hummed with power as Earth's forces pressed their advantage, demonstrating to the galaxy that a new power had emerged, one that would rewrite the rules of what was possible. In the aftermath of the quantum battle, the solar system had changed forever. Regions of space-time bore permanent quantum imprints, creating natural corridors where the laws of physics bent in ways that even the precursors might not have imagined. The Imperial reinforcement fleet hung motionless, surrounded by Earth vessels that existed in multiple quantum states simultaneously. Admiral Kextel stood on his flagship's bridge, his scales a muted gray of defeat as he faced the holographic image of President Martinez. Captain Venera stood beside him, her own scales showing the deep blue of philosophical acceptance. "You understand now," Martinez said, not as a question, but as a statement of fact. "Why the precursors chose us, why their technology responded to humanity in ways it never did to the Empire." "We had become static," Venera answered before her superior could speak. "The Empire's strength became its greatest weakness. We stopped innovating, stopped questioning, stopped imagining new possibilities. We merely maintained what we had." In the Rocky Mountain facility, Dr. Sarah Chen and her team had made another breakthrough. The quantum network had evolved beyond its original parameters, creating new forms of communication and computation that transcended traditional understanding. The aurora core pulsed with patterns that suggested consciousness, not artificial intelligence as they knew it, but something entirely new. "It's a bridge," Sarah explained to the assembled world leaders, her voice filled with wonder. "The precursors didn't just leave us technology. They left us a way to reach them, or rather, to reach what they have become. They didn't go extinct. They evolved beyond physical form." On the Hyperion's bridge, Captain Rice received the readings from the quantum network. The ship's sensors detected changes in the fabric of reality itself, as if the barrier between normal space and quantum space was becoming more permeable. The precursors understood that technological advancement alone wasn't enough. He mused, speaking to his crew. They needed a species that could think beyond the conventional, that could imagine new possibilities and then make them real. President Martinez stood in the White House gardens, looking up at a sky that would never be the same. The quantum corridors were visible now, shimmering like auroras across the heavens. Earth had not just defended itself, it had initiated a transformation that would reshape the galaxy. "Admiral Kextal," she addressed the Xanthari leader, "the Empire has two choices. You can accept that the galaxy is changing, that humanity has unlocked potential that the precursors saw in us millennia ago. Or you can continue to resist, to cling to your old ways, and watch as the universe evolves beyond your understanding." Kextal's scales shifted through various colors before settling on a deep purple of resignation. "The Empire has stood for 10,000 years, he said. "We believed we had reached the pinnacle of achievement, that our duty was to prevent younger races from destabilizing the galaxy. We were wrong." In orbit, the quantum network continued to evolve. Earth ships now moved through space in ways that defied traditional physics, their quantum drives creating permanent alterations in the structure of reality. The technology wasn't just advancing, it was transforming the very nature of space travel. Dr. Chen's voice came through the quantum comm, excitement evident in her tone. "Madam President, we're detecting new quantum signatures. The network, it's not just a defense system or a communication device. It's a key to understanding the precursors' final evolution. They became beings of pure quantum energy, existing in a state of unlimited possibility. And they left breadcrumbs for us to follow." Martinez finished. "Not instructions to copy, but challenges to overcome, pushing us to evolve in our own unique way." The Imperial fleet began to withdraw, not in defeat, but in acknowledgement of a fundamental change in the galaxy's power structure. Humanity had proven itself not just capable of wielding advanced technology, but of transforming it into something new. Captain Venera requested permission to remain behind as the Empire's ambassador to Earth. Her scales showed the deep green of curiosity and hope as she explained her decision to Admiral Kextal. "The humans will change everything," she said. "The Empire can either adapt and learn from them, or become a relic of history. I choose to adapt." In the months that followed, humanity's influence spread throughout the galaxy. The quantum corridors they had created became highways for a new age of space travel. Other species, inspired by Earth's example, began to break free from traditional limitations, exploring new possibilities in science and technology. The Aurora Core, now fully awakened, served as humanity's link to both the physical and quantum realms. Through it, they began to detect traces of the precursors' quantum evolution, hints of a civilization that had transcended physical form to become something greater. President Martinez stood in the new quantum assembly, addressing representatives from both Earth and alien worlds. The chamber itself existed partially in quantum space, allowing instantaneous communication across vast distances. "We stand at the dawn of a new era," she declared. "The precursors didn't choose humanity because we were special. They chose us because we refuse to accept limitations, because we see challenges as opportunities, and because we never stop asking, what if?" As her words echoed through quantum space, reaching across the galaxy, the Aurora Core pulsed with new patterns. The precursors' final message became clear. They hadn't left their legacy to find caretakers for their technology. They had left it to find successors who would take their achievements and transform them into something even greater. Humanity had not just survived its first contact with advanced alien civilization. It had triggered an evolutionary leap for all sentient life. The age of quantum ascendance had begun, and the galaxy would never be the same.